Paul Kawata is the executive director of the National Minority AIDS Council since 1989, and the organization is dedicated to building leadership to address the HIV-related challenges in minority communities. He's the founding board member of the National Association of People with AIDS, and is also the only, from what I understand, the only surviving member who was the author of the Denver Principles, which is a document of empowerment for our community. Paul personally means a great deal to me. I've watched his struggle lately as he's aged, as he will often call himself a tired old queen. And but I've seen how, you know, he's lived this epidemic. Not only is it something where he works day in and day out, but it's also the losses that he's had, and the friends and family and everything else that he's gone through on this. And it's been wonderful to see over the past year him renewing his spirit and his commitment to the fight through his often ramblings that will go out through NMAX messages, yes. Which also kind of bring us back to remind us of a time that some of us may never have known, and some of us may have known. And it's learning our history, as in Mark King's session early this morning. We don't talk enough about sometimes in a way to bring others to understanding. And Paul has always been somebody that I have really looked up to, and he's always been there to support me when I'm trying to do something, no matter how unpopular it might be. So I want to invite to the stage Paul Kawata. He's going to talk to us about the state of AIDS and where do we go from here.
Oh, honey, I am tired and old. Okay, it is Saturday night, it is 9 o'clock at night, and you all are still sitting in this damn room. What is wrong with all of you? And to all the people at the other side who are watching this on television, you are truly sick people. You have to come on over. So for all of you who are sitting on the other side, feel free to come on over. People are leaving. If you're tired, honey, feel free to go. I'm tired. It's been a long day.
Is that Margaret Cho?
I was going to start by talking about Butch, but you all gave an amazing acknowledgement to you. But I want to say one thing, Butch, that I travel all over the country. I meet with a lot of people and I speak at a lot of meetings. This is the only one left. This is the only meeting left for consumers. And that is extraordinary and amazing and incredibly important. And so thank you for all of you. I need to acknowledge Michael. Michael is that person in my life who will drive me crazy. Oh, yeah. You all have that person, right? You know, the thing about leadership is that you need to have somebody in your life who holds you accountable, who stands up and says, you're fucking it up. And Michael is the person who will call me and say, you are fucking it up. And I will say to him, fuck you. but that is the relationship that is really, really important as consumers. As consumers, you need to hold your leadership accountable for what they're doing or they're not doing. That is absolutely your job. And if you do not hold your leadership accountable, your leadership is going to fuck up. Let me be very clear about that. And before I start, there's one other person, and I know he's not here, but I know some of his staff are here, and that's Tom Liberty. I know almost all 58 directors in the United States, and Tom is second to none. You need to know how hard he's fighting for you. It is a real awful time in Florida right now. And he is fighting for you at a level that I have never seen. And he couldn't say some things yesterday that I'm going to say to you today, which is that your legislature is fucked up. Yes. I mean, it is total. Can you tell it's late? I'm tired. I'm using the F word. God. I spent the day on the toilet. It was not a good day for me today, so I am a little tired and a little over it. So I wanted to be here today to tell you some stories about our collective history, because I think it's important for us to understand our history if we're going to need to know where we're going to go. We were talking about Marty, and I loved Marty. Marty was the smartest man in the room, and Marty turned me into a drug runner. So let me tell you the story. It was 1988, and in 1988 there were no drugs. There were absolutely no drugs if you were sick. And there was this thing called ribavirin. Do you all know what ribavirin is? Yes. Yeah. So there was this drug that was in Mexico, and it was illegal to bring the drug that wasn't FDA approved over the border from Mexico into the United States. And so I had a friend who was very, very sick, and someone said, call this guy named Marty Delaney. He's access to this drug, ribavirin, and maybe he can help you get some. And Marty taught me how to go over the border and run an illegal drug from Mexico into the United States. And I look back on it now and I think, what the hell were we thinking, bringing illegal drugs over the border?
No, around that way.
But at the time, it made absolute perfect sense. Because when you are completely desperate and you have no other options in your life, what do? You run drugs from Mexico into the United States. Now, you know, I have this nice little Asian face, so nobody thought that I was smuggling drugs. Now, Marty, on the other hand, always got stopped. And I tell the story about Marty because I want you to know what he did to keep people alive. I want you to know what he did to make sure that we had the information we needed. I mean, Marty was just that kind of guy. Would you be willing to put your ass on the line and go to a foreign country and smuggle an illegal drug into America? Think about it. And do it at a time when it was during the Reagan administration. Yeah. So, I want to talk to you a little bit about the Denver Principles. Who knows, has anyone ever, who's here has heard of the Denver Principles? Ooh, a lot of you haven't. Okay, so, now, this is a I am the oldest queen in the room story. And I tell the story because I hope you'll appreciate this more than anyone else. We started the National Association of People with AIDS. There were 33 of us. We were young and stupid and naive, and we believed that we could change the world. And we came together at a time when no one gave a shit about AIDS. And I'll remember there was a man named Michael Callan. I don't know how many of you knew Michael or remember Michael. One of the most amazing men I ever knew. And Michael died probably in 94, 95. And as Michael was dying, I was at his hospital bedside. And Michael said to me, "You're the last one alive of the 33 of us. You hold our memory." And I share this story all the time, particularly with consumers, because that's who we are. We hold the memory of all the people who came before us. We hold the experiences and the love and the sacrifice and the fuck you to the world because they were going to fight for all of us. And I don't want to hold that memory by myself. And so I share this story with all of you because I too want you to hold this memory. I want you to remember where we came from and who we are and why we fight. Oh, thank you. you so much. Sorry, it's been a long day on the toilet.